This is a video by Richmond. Today we're working on a Saturn S series. This happens to be a 1999 SC. And what we're doing today is we are replacing the engine. Now, this vehicle has the single overhead cam with an automatic transmission. Now, I took the hood off. Then I took the battery, the air box, and then the air resonator. And then I took out the battery tray. Then I drained the coolant. Took off the top radiator hose. Took the serpentine belt off next. Then I moved the AC compressor over the here. Kept the hoses connected, of course. Took out the O2 sensor. We don't want to break it off. Sticks out. Took the radiator out. The coil pack was next. Then the ignition module and the wires. Next, I took off the splash shield over here behind the wheel. Then I removed the water pump pulley right there. All right, what's next? Next, I remove the power steering pump. You can leave it in or take it out if you want extra clearance. Next, I remove the wire to the TPS, and then the air controller, and then the map sensor wire. There's two plastic small shields down here I just removed. Then I remove the alternator. You can leave it in, but I want a little extra clearance, so I remove the starter also. Now, while the car was up in the air, I removed the wires to the oil pressure switch, and then the knock sensor and the crankshaft position sensor. Now, the purge solenoid in back there, I removed that from the engine. The line right there, remove that line. Now, right here, the line that went into the fuel rail, I disconnected that. Then the EGR wire right there. Then down here, the coolant hose to the heater core, remove that. Now the brake booster right here, the hose, disconnected that. Now what was the next thing I did here? The exhaust pipe, right at the manifold, disconnected that. Then I loosened the crankshaft pulley bolts. Just loosened them. Took the tensioner out of the way. Then I went underneath and removed the trance stiffener. Then there's a drive shaft support. 3 bolts. Remove that. Then I remove the flywheel cover. Then the flywheel bolts. They go into the converter. Then I went back and removed the crankshaft pulley. Then I removed these ground wires that went up to these bolts right here. Now there's a bracket right down here that connected the intake manifold. Got that out of the way so it wouldn't hang up on these wires. Now while I was up in the air, I took the bottom bolts. The bottom bolts that go from the motor to the transmission. Remove those. That was the next thing I did. I'm looking on my sheet here. Now before I move the dog bone in front of the motor, I loosen this bolt right here. And then retighten it lightly. The lower mount over here. I remove the bracket on the engine, and then the dog bone itself, and then the bracket on the subframe. Then I lower the car back down the tires. Then I put the hoist on it. Then I remove this bottom bolt right there. And that's where we stand right now. Next I'm going to remove this top mount. Then these 2 transmission to engine bolts. And we should be ready to pull it out. Okay, it's off to part 2.